Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. In the last episode, we finished up here at the newspaper, and we need to go to the police station.
Let's go to the police station. Let's go to the police station.
Come. Back again, are we? Come this way, good man. The inspector has a few questions to ask you.
They don't know we're
Here
Holmes.
is the man, Inspector.
Congratulations, Humphreys. So, my lad, one would say that you owe us a bit of an explanation for having left something with us. What is your full name and profession?
Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective.
Well, how about that?
Mr. Holmes, can you explain this get-up, your presence in the neighbourhood despite my instructions, as well as this most opportune restitution of jewels?
Firstly, I should tell you that not being under your command, I never understood what you said as an order, but rather as advice. I thought I would be wise to follow them to a certain extent. I intended to explain the stolen goods sooner or later. My presence here will allow me to fill you in on a few conclusions that...
If it is in regard to the Whitechapel murders, it won't help us much. We have no doubt that we will be revealing the identity of the murderer to the people in the area in a day or two.
I'm impressed, Inspector, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations. Nonetheless, you should investigate a certain doctor.
Listen, Holmes, let us do our work. You've rid us of a great pain in the rear end by finding those jewels for us. It's weeks of work that you've saved us. But I think you're a little underqualified for a case like that of Jack the Ripper. Until it's over, I demand that you do not set foot in the area. Is that clear?
I take note of your advice, Inspector. You mentioned Jack the Ripper. Pardon me, but you know the name of the murderer?
Oh, it's from a letter that the Central News Agency sent our way. It was written by the killer. And even if it can't be proven, it must be recognised that the signature is striking. This information is confidential, and I would ask you to keep it to yourself, Holmes.
Can I have a little look? Out of mere curiosity, Inspector. Then I shall disappear.
In that case, I don't see any objection.
Thank you so much.
Well, we know that reporter was trying to come up with a name. And there was some speculation back in the day that it was a reporter that they were pushing this for a story. And so some of the stuff might not have been, completely on the up and up. Cher Patron. I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about Leather Apron gave me a real fit. I'm down on the whores and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work, and I want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue, and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope. Ha ha ha. The next job I do, I shall clip the ladies' ears off and send them to the police officers just for jolly. Wouldn't you? Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight. My knife's so nice and sharp. I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. P.S. Wasn't good enough to post this before I got all the red ink off my hands. Curse it. No luck yet. They say I'm a doctor now. Ha ha ha. Well, there you go.
Me? Not up to discovering who Jack the Ripper is? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we, Inspector Aberline? I know who wrote the Dear Boss letter signed Jack the Ripper that Inspector Aberline gave me, and, above all, I now know why. This Tom Bulling was inspired by this fantastical character to build a myth out of the Whitechapel killer. Perhaps he would be receptive if I shared my discovery about him and prevent him from accusing Squippy. I must find him at once. My best bet would be to try my luck at the pub.
We're off to the pub.
Ah, Holmes, I got your message, and here I am.
Perfect, Watson. That oaf Bluto is looking for us with evil intentions, and he may be hiding here. I will try to get more information inside. You, Watson, will be our lookout, and at the slightest suspicious sound, do not hesitate to call the constable on his rounds.
In we go. Okay, there's the guy we want to talk to.
Good evening, Mr. Bully.
We know each other?
No, however, I have some information that may be of interest to you.
Talk, my friend. A pint for you if what you say is worth something. Does it have to do with the Whitechapel murders?
Indeed, I know the identity of the man who wrote a letter to the police, a letter entitled Dear Boss, in which the author claims to be the Whitechapel murderer and is signed Jack the Ripper.
What?
It's a journalist who was inspired by Spring-Heeled Jack in order to strengthen the credibility and the seriousness of his agency. This new Jack will give him some first-hand information that he, in turn, will dole out sparingly to the authorities, as well as some carefully distilled indiscretions that the big papers will come to beg of him. He plays both sides off against one another and becomes the chief orchestrator of the rumour. He wrote this letter in this very spot, and he has red ink on his fingers. Like you.
What exactly are you after, my friend?
You've been threatening a certain Squibby to distribute a telegram naming him as a possible suspect in these murders in revenge for an old feud. I would suggest you don't write this note, and that you leave Squibby alone.
I'd forgotten about the existence of that rapscallion. I threw that at him when I was visiting the station to get the dope. You should have seen his face.
You must also stop sending these letters that waste the authorities' precious time.
Right, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a great relationship with the Bobbies. Just ask around. I don't have to answer to nobody. Now leave me alone.
Farewell, sir.
Good riddance.
All right, I guess that's all we're going to get out of him.
Let's hurry to the police station, Watson. We are close to our goal. Squibby will be able to reveal what he knows about Tumblety. Squibby, so that's it. You're a free man again. We were just coming to the station to find you.
Shh. Yeah, the Bobbies agreed to let me go, and I came to see Bluto before ferreting you out. So, you've seen the newspaper man?
Yes, he is in the pub and everything is taken care of, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about Dr. Tumblety.
Okay, but we have to be quick. One night, I goes to see Bluto in his hideout that ain't far from the boarding house where this Tumblety bloke has a room. I see him coming in too. He must have been on one real binge. To the point, the Tumblety fella was there, and he smiles at me, all nice like. He tells me he's a great Yankee doctor, but my business interests him. I'm interested, I tell him, but I'm not the type to just jump right in without getting to know a person, see? He invites me around to his room to talk business, just him and me. We empty a bottle or two, and all of a sudden, like, he wants to show me what he's got in this big trunk that he always carts around places. I just about vomited, see? In these jars, just like pickles, you know, there were pieces of meat. And he whispers that it's the lady bits of some old dames. He called them peckymins. I call them love killers, I would. Yuck! After that, he starts to go on about rich folk. They ain't nothing but dogs, and I won't tell you the worst of it. Then he comes all close to me and puts his sweaty hand on my leg. He was one of them types, not me. I don't wait a second before I give him a good thrashing, and I start running and let go of him, and he still wants to see me again just to talk business. But then I had to do time, so business.
Do you know where he can be found?
Why, ain't he in his digs? Maybe he got to liking life behind bars too. I heard that in some jobs there's a way to.
Thank you for your information, and we'll meet again, my friend. Here is the sum I promised to get you out of London.
Ta, fella. I've just got a little score to settle with Bluto, and I'm heading for the country.
You should just go, leave Bluto alone. But they're not that smart. What's going on over there? Is that guy beating somebody? And somebody's watching?
Lipsky!
He beat the shit out of that woman.
My dear Watson, we must strike while the iron is hot. We have avoided meeting Dr. Tumblety until now. The time has come to do so.
Do you have an opinion, Holmes?
We must assure ourselves that the factor collector of female organs and a murderer who removes said organs are resident in the same area at the same time is nothing more than coincidence.
All right, let's talk to the landlord.
I thought that you wouldn't bring me back your keys. Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
It'd be easy to sneak up on this guy. He never pays attention. Every time he never looks up, and then he realizes that who he thinks it isn't.
Indeed, it is I again. One of your tenants left without returning his keys?
Yes, it's Dr. Tumblety whom we spoke about. Shortly after your last visit here, some constables came and asked me a few questions regarding him. Barely had they left than the doctor came barreling around a street corner and rushed up into his room upstairs. A little while afterwards, while I was tidying, I heard a thud in his room and a rush down the stairs. He left with most of his bags, but without returning his keys. You can go up and see if you wish. The door is still open.
All right, let's go up and look. Do we know which room it is? Yeah, it must be this one.
Careful, Watson. Do not walk around here until I've inspected these marks.
I know, Holmes, I know. I understand your methods.
Do you? Interesting. But you're standing, evidently you walked right over the marks to get to where you're at, you dumb.
Ah, you have your rule and magnifying glass. I thought that you had forgotten them, Holmes.
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson.
Yeah, not the essentials. It's elementary, you know. All right, well, let's get down to it. Take a look at these.
Right foot, light trails. The man was running.
Okay.
Right foot, light trails. The man was running.
Anything else? Okay.
This isn't water. Going by its sticky texture and odor, I'd say we're dealing with formalin.
Okay, that's what this mark was right here. The formalin, isn't that the stuff that was in the jars? The preservative? How's this work?
Size 13. These are the footprints of a tall man who had recently stepped in formalin and who left this room in a hurry.
Well, can I walk on it and enter the room now, Holmes?
I don't know. Can you? All right, let's look around. The suitcase, is that his? Letter found at Tumblety's. Do not understand how you found yourself in the situation. Your passionate discussions on the legitimacy of this war should have convinced more than one. I still remember when you imitated him during that meeting. You stuck that very characteristic pose, and you exclaimed, "Vicksburg is the key." The war can never be brought to a close until that key is in our pocket. We all applauded. I'm sure that even Lincoln himself would have applauded. During these dark hours, it was rare to have the occasion to laugh. So many deaths, ending with our much-loved president. killed by this coward and left to join those of the victory at Gettysburg, who courageously fell so that the next day the key would be in our pocket.
If this letter is addressed to him, it would appear our doctor is a veteran of the American Civil War. Vicksburg is the key. Now, that is interesting.
Okay, we don't know what the book is. Probably a Gideon Bible, maybe. What's on the desk? Dear Francis, it's impossible for us to meet again. I'm feeling terrible, as pursuing our relationship further would put both my marriage and my reputation in danger. I must return to that life of love, fleeting and physical, in which a few coins to those young men assures corporal peace and anonymity. These growing feelings that I have for you make me scared, and I would prefer to shun this passion for the fear that it may never leave me. Perhaps we shall cross paths again one day in a discreet location where like-minded men meet. I know that you frequent them regularly, so you never hide yourself. For my part, I will spend more time with my wife and girls in order to find the serenity, and I hope to throw the veil of oblivion over our passionate embraces. All the best, Charles. My dear Francis, it is in putting aside our common past, and thus as a friend, that I am sending you these words. I have learned from some mutual friends of your recent trouble with the law. You should be more careful. England has nothing in common with the Wild West, but her seedy areas can be just as dangerous. Your attention to young rogues will cost you dearly one of these days, whether it be at the end of an alley or on the benches of a jury. A man of your quality and fortune does not have to frequent the hovels and bring his pistol with him everywhere. It is not necessary to use violence to find partners, unless this violence pleases you. Certain circles that we used to frequent are still open to you. Take advantage of this healthy and respectable company rather than demeaning yourself with these destitute lads. And pray, get rid of that god-awful chest. Who knows what the people to whom you show, while bragging, must think of and speak of it. The man you once loved, Henry.
This Dr. Tumblety seems to be attracted to men more than women. That much is clear. So, the doctor has a handgun, and he would use it to restrain young men, perhaps.
What's this?
There are a few pieces of a large glass jar in this puddle. The man who left the footprints on the ground must have walked in it while fleeing.
All right, there's something in front of Watson. What?
These footprints are the same as those found in front of the door. These footsteps must be those of Squibby. He must have hit Tumblety, who dropped one of his jars.
And he ran out. Elementary, Holmes.
Perfect, Watson.
All right, so what's in this?
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe.
All right, it looks like these are in chronological order because we end at Vicksburg. And I know Fort Sumter was the first war, or the first battle. And then now we've got the dates down here. So if these are in chronological order, then I would start with the earliest date. There's 63, 68, 62, 63, 61, and 71. So 61 would be the first date. And, okay, we've got 21 at the start and 17 at the start. So this is not how we would look at it in today's date, would be month, date, day, and year. This is day, month, and year. Okay, so the first one would be day, month, and year. 12. and then 04, and then 61. They're all 1800s, well, except for the last one. But that's too many dates. We've got too many dates down here. So let's try 61. Oh, that's cool. Well, we've got hats and flags. That's supposed to match. So that means that the Confederates won that battle? Okay, so we're on the right track then. So the next one would be 62. So we're going to go 17. Went too far. There. Why couldn't I get that right? Jeez. Okay, 1709. 1709. 62. Okay, now that didn't change that time. That one did, this one didn't. But that, I wonder if I just got lucky here. How does this work? Okay, we've got different hats. Okay, there's 5 different hats. And there's different flags. Oh. Okay, that worked. We're on the right track. Okay, so the next one would be 80 or 63, but there's seems to be 2 63s. This one would be the 5th month and the 7th month. So this one would be next. '63, and then 02 and 05, and then 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. All right. Now the next one is this one here, so it'd be 63 again, and 03 and 17. Okay, 17,363. That's not right. I got this backwards. Okay, wait a minute. That's the month. I screwed up. I screwed it up. Okay, so we need 03. Oh. 03 and then 17. Or 7. Okay, 3, 7, 63. All right, and then that's Gettysburg. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 3. Okay, and then the last one is 68. So we got 61, 62, 63 twice. 61, 62, 63, 63, 68, and 1770. I don't think the 1771 is going to work. So it must be this one here. So 09, 09, 09, 21, and 68. Vicksburg, and then Okay, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. All right, well, that didn't work. It's not working. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? The morrow is the key. After Gettysburg, the morrow. The morrow. Is that one day after this date? The next day? Is that what they're saying? So it would be 4, 7, 63. All right, let's try this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Elementary.
There it went. And it's this glitch again that I can't see inside. Right, we got 3 spots to look at. Let's look at. No, we don't. We got more.
This is dreadful, Holmes. This trunk contains 4 jars in which organs are floating.
Watson, can you tell me at a glance what these organs are?
I would say that they are parts of female reproductive organs.
Are these specimens fresh?
No, and I am quite certain of it. From the colour and appearance, I'd say these organs have been in these jars for several months, if not years.
Let's go to Baker Street.
Oh, so I didn't have
Is
to
there
look at all of
someone
them.
here?
Yes.
What's going on, Finley? You seem to be in a panic.
The 2 police officers wanted to know if someone suspicious had entered here. The Whitechapel killer has struck again, and if I understood correctly, he killed 2 women in the past few hours.
Where?
I don't know. The police didn't tell me anything.
Quick, Holmes. We must catch up with them.
Certainly not, Watson. Mr. Finley, do you know if the doctor had any other pieces of luggage up there apart from this trunk?
1 or 2, I think.
Do you take care of the doctor's laundry?
My wife does laundry for the tenants once a week. The sheets likewise.
Would you be kind enough to let us know as soon as possible if the doctor shows up again?
Certainly. I'm just worried that he won't be back, you see, and I'm annoyed about my keys.
Holmes, I don't follow. The Whitechapel killer is, at this very moment, very close by, and we are just staying put, twiddling our thumbs.
The Whitechapel killer has always been nearby, and what will we do? Go back to the scene of the crime or crimes and mix with the onlookers and trample the crime scenes even more? No, our time will come. Let's return to Baker Street.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home. We were less than 200 feet away from the first victim a few minutes before she was murdered. We might even have heard the murderer's voice. And we haven't done a thing for the past week.
You're the one not doing anything, Watson. For my part, I have been working, and as you know, I've made good use of this week by tracking down and verifying all of the solid facts on these 2 murders to write up the notes that are on my desk, read them over again and try to gain a bit of perspective.
I have read and reread them, but give me something to do then. A task where I can get stuck in, because
Find me a slaughterhouse that will give us exclusive use of its block for an hour, and find me, in your opinion, which common animal shares the most characteristics with humans from a physiological point of view.
Pig?
I don't even know why I asked that question. Pray, find a dozen fresh pig's heads, Watson. Not big heads, I prefer small ones.
Sows?
That's it, Watson. As soon as you have done that, let me know. I request that you search in Whitechapel. Who knows? Perhaps you will learn something about where Dr. Tumblety may be hiding. There is also no shortage of slaughterhouses and pigs' heads in those parts.
Well, this looks like a good place to stop. Hope to see you in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.